Class is in session. The Brofessor is in. Happy New Year, happy January. We got the Rey Mysterio Hall of Fame midweek boss battle. And with this boss battle, we are going to get into our top 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, however many we think are going to be at the top. So let's bro. First and foremost, we need to recognize what our abilities are. Power gems are going to do 2,250% more damage, and yellow gems are going to do a big 1,500% more damage. Can't use any multiply gems. It will deliver minus 100% damage, so nothing bonused from a multiply gem. And last but not least, we can't make any trap gems. So let's figure out who's going to be the top 4 or so in not only for this, but there's going to be some surprises with it. So let's bro. So just a quick shout out that we are going to do the bargain bin video. So make sure you take a look out for that one. It'll drop sometime after this one has made its rounds. So there are a couple things we got to keep in mind, and one of them is that these types of power gems are mostly laid down by strikers who mostly use black moves. And one of the things we have to keep in mind is that this right here is actually that you will, basically your entire team will lose. It is a global damage if anyone has 1 black MP at the end of the turn. So we can't use anybody with black moves, or can we? And that's what's going to be really interesting with this one, because we're going to try to see if we can manipulate it to our advantage. So let's go over a few risky type players that you can use for this boss battle that we'll put in the top 4, but you're going to have to win turn 1 or else you're probably going to lose. And then I'll go on to a top 4 that is the safety top 4. So the first one in our risky, this is going to be the risky business top 4, is actually going to be Zombie Sami Zayn. Now, Zombie Sami Zayn has a really nice all black moveset, and here's where it's going to get fun, right? So you're going to put the submission down. It's going to get 30 random gems, and because the boss doesn't swipe any gems away, all 30 will remain. They will turn into power gems of 201k, and we can buff that to get higher. His second move, his Helluva kick, also increases it by the exact same amount. So we're going to double the amount that is there for those power gems. And then with all the other buffs that we have, it is going to be buffed thanks to the boss's buffs by 2,250%. So the goal with this then, of course, is to get the sub down as quickly as possible, buff this, and then start swiping. So to make this possible, it is going to be a swipe fest. Swiping as many times as you can, so that way each swipe does hundreds of millions of damage, and hopefully winning it by the end of turn 1. So Sami Zayn is going to be one that we can take a look at in this risky category of top 4. Our next risky top 4 is actually going to be Bradshaw of the Acolytes. And Bradshaw is going to do something very much similar, but his power gems are beefier at 504k, but you have to choose them, and they also choose into red gems. So you're going to have less of them, but they're going to be a little bit more powerful. You just have to put them around the perimeter of the board itself, and then you're able to double it at the same time. So this is going to also hit really, really hard, and then you're able to replenish them. But again, this is a turn 1 thing, and you're going to have to hope that you don't have any black gems left. You're able to do this on turn 1. Make sure you don't swipe any black gems. Otherwise, you won't have a chance for turn 2. But he is also somebody that with enough swipes, you might be able to take out the boss, because the boss is going to have a beefy. I didn't say it at the beginning, but the boss, as I read on the blog yesterday, is 1.66 billion with a B health. So it's going to take a lot of swipes with which to take them down, but these two together might be able to do it turn 1. Another part of our risky top 4 is actually going to be this man right here. His power gems are actually a lot less, but also has a submission. But you have to place them on the board at the exact same time. They do creep up to about 180K. So there's another person who also you get to choose some, also about 180K. So it's a lot of choosing, and that's why I think he's going to be a little bit worse than Bradshaw. But a combination of these guys would work pretty well. So those are the risky sort of top three, but then there are others who are going to be safer bets that you can put in the top four who are going to do yellow gem damage and also, help with the shield. We haven't talked about that, but this shield at level 23 is 170 yellow gems. That is 3+ boards worth of yellow gems that you and your team have to take care of. So two things that we're going to take a look at is people who will benefit, number one, from the pyro plate or the piper plate, however you want to call it. And number two, maybe people who can also benefit from the Cody Sheriff's badge plate, the ultimate plate that makes 30 yellow gems. So those two are going to count heavily towards whom we think is going to be really, really good for that. So one whom I think is going to be really good and in the top of this is William Regal. He's going to do probably about 200 million for each cycle. He's just going to have a problem with reloading. So that's something to think about. So Regal's sort of like the 5 or 6 or 7, but the actual probably best one in this category, and we'll have to go all the way to the bottom to get to him, is actually probably going to be Goldberg, and the streak begins because Goldberg is going to be able to make power gems with a green move. So he's going to be able to make those power gems, and it's just swipe, swipe, swipe. You can actually go, I think it's triple green that you would use, and that one as well too increases the strength of your power gem. So in the focus category, he's probably going to be the best one that we're going to look at. In the chaotic category, we're probably looking at the new Rey Mysterio is probably going to be one of the best, but very few people are going to have him. So if you don't have him, and most people obviously will not have him, the next best probably in this category in terms of helping is actually probably going to be Shawn Michaels. In terms of just the Hall of Fame version, just about how many yellow gems he can produce. So that's going to be very good. He also makes a bunch of yellow gems with the green move set, but it's not going to be as good as Rey with the pyros, right? We're looking for people that can make pyro gems and take advantage of that Piper plate. When looking at the aggressive category, I think this one's probably going to be one of the better ones as well too. Bam Bam Bigelow. A striker who does make power gems, but does so with blue and red moves. And so his ability then to make a whole bunch, as well as make a bunch of pyro gems too, although not going to help you as much, is somebody to think about. But I also want to give a shout out here because I think he's going to be really good. I'm not sure if he's going to be in that top 4, so he'll probably be in the bargain bin as well. And let's make sure we do this all correctly. Is somebody like a Zombie Lashley. Zombie Lashley is with his gear hitting his yellow gems for another 100%. So that's going to be good. He also makes the snowfalls, but it's yellow gems and it's over top of reinforced gems. So I think that's going to be key to not only breaking the shield, but also doing a bunch of damage as well too. So keep Zombie Lashley sort of in your head there, hair there. And lastly, I think in this defensive category, it's actually going to be Hall of Fame Triple H. He's going to be the best one here. Somebody else that can run a Piper plate with the Pyro gems also has the same sort of thing. It's going to make reinforced gems and a whole bunch of them into yellow gems. So you have a chance to do a lot of extra damage that way. All right, well, that's my top 4 and or 5 and or 6 and or 7 and a couple of sneaky, risky picks. Let me know what you think in the comments. The bargain bin of whom you can use that is not going to do hundreds of millions of damage but can help your team will follow in a few hours. Brofessor out.